Okay, so this will begin the first session of the Faerunners campaign. Um, so to kind of lay the scene here, um, so read some of this before, but I'll add on to it at the end. So, Faerun has, since time immemorial, been a land filled with magic. The people, the politics, and the very land itself has been shaped by this power. The source of this magic was referred to as the Weave, a well of magical power bound by Mystra, the goddess of magic. For eons, this weave maintained the stability and of magical power in Faerun and the rest of the Forgotten Realms. This stability was suddenly and violently shattered, however, in the year 1385 of the Dale Reckoning, commonly referred to as DR, when the goddess Mystra was murdered by Cyric, the newly ascended god of deception and, murder. The effects of the Weave's collapse were immediate and cataclysmic. On a cosmic scale, the world tree was obliterated, and many of the outer planes of the Forgotten Realms were either merged or destroyed outright. The god Savras died with the dissolution of Mystra's home plane, while Azith was cast into the Nine Hells, where he was absorbed by Asmodeus. On Toril, in the land of Faerun, the land itself was affected, as the earth was rent asunder by massive earthquakes and scorched by waves of blue flame that erupted from the earth, creating the Underchasm and rendering a region known hence as the Plague Lands uninhabitable, and cutting off the Chalton Peninsula from the mainland, turning it into a series of isles. As a result, the Yuan-Ti Empire of Serpentis was effectively submerged and destroyed in a day. Spells began going haywire with unpredictable and occasionally devastating effects, and weaker magical weapons and items were instantly destroyed. Humans possessing relationship to the Shadowfell, meanwhile, were transformed into Shatterkai, and the number of people possessing innate psionic abilities increased dramatically. While the peoples of Faerun slowly recovered from this catastrophe, the shape of magic was forever altered by the lingering effects of the spell plague. While those magical items that had survived the spell plague could still be used reliably, all but the most powerful mages were able to consistently cast without their spells going awry. Hoping to restore stability, in 1479 DR, 5 of Mystra's chosen, her most devoted followers, journeyed into the Underchasm in the hopes of finding some remnant of her power so that she could be restored. Little is known of what transpired there, but some weeks after they were last seen descending into the chasm, a wave of silver flame swept across Faerun, leaving most things untouched but instantly disintegrating most mages caught in its path. By the time the fire subsided, the vast majority of Faerun's mages were gone. Those few who survived, however, found themselves once more able to cast spells without fear of errant results. Magic had been fully restored, and Mystra was alive once more. The loss of the world's best mages, however, had dealt a crippling blow to Faerun, from which it would not quickly recover. Over the next few centuries, the continent's denizens slowly came to terms with this new reality. Without magic to maintain the infrastructure and lifestyle to which they had become accustomed, the thinking minds of the world turned instead to technology. The strides made in technology during this era were attributed by some to the gods Ogma and Gons, deities of knowledge and invention, and at the same time, the loss of magic as a source of military strength shifted the balance in many of Faerun's political relations. In some cases, this led to massive invasions and wars, while in others led to the peaceful merging of some countries and the confederation of others. In any case, the number of political entities in Faerun dramatically decreased, to the point where there are now really just 9 great powers on the surface contending with each other. The year is now 2018 DR, more than 600 years after the spell plague nearly wiped out magic in Faerun. In the intervening time, the city-state of Waterdeep has seen much change. An invasion of the Sword Coast by the Drow in 1763 razed much of the city, and it is only after the city's recapture and the re-establishment of Waterdeep as an independent city-state nearly 100 years later in 1854 that the city began reconstruction. Today it is a modern metropolis built on the ruins of the previous ancient city. A bustling center of trade, the city has both become an incredibly lucrative venture for the city's masked lords and a den of crime and haven for smugglers. In recent months, some of the city's more powerful figures have begun new business ventures to plumb the forgotten depths of the old city, spurred on, no doubt, by recent rumors of resurfacing relics brimming with magical power not seen in the Sword Coast since the spell plague. It is in this exciting time of rediscovery that you now find yourselves. You've each been independently contacted by a mysterious individual identifying themselves only by the moniker Oracle. Oracle has requested that you meet in a bustling bar in one of the less reputable corners of the city called the Grumpy Gif to discuss a possible joint venture that Oracle promises will be quite lucrative for all involved. So as we open, we'll be starting in that bar.
It's all dark.
It is all
Someone
dark.
turn on the lights.
So I'm going to experiment a bit with some of the lighting effects. I'll see how this goes. I'll probably have to play around with it quite a bit before I get used to it, but might end up just forgo mapping altogether. We'll find out. Anyway, so over the past month or week, probably week or so, you've all been, over the course of that period, contacted by cell phone. It's just been a text message with the name Oracle already tied to it, even though you've never contacted this person before, and as far as you're aware, they've never contacted you. Telling you to meet in a bar called the Grumpy GIF at 7 p.m. On this day, with varying levels of detail and various incentives, things that would be seen as incentives for your character. So for some of you that means money, for others that means causes of good and justice. In any event, as 7 approaches, a red-haired wood elf enters the bar and makes her way to a back room. She's the first to arrive, a little early, but still pretty close to being punctual. So did that light up for you guys?
It did not.
Did not. Okay.
Now there's a little light.
Oh, yes. There's a little light, yeah.
Okay, but can you see Tim's character there? What?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll just forget about that then.
You might be on the layer. You might have to push the map to the bottom layer.
That map was on the bottom layer. Yeah, map should be on the bottom layer.
Right click and then move tile to map layer.
Yeah, map is on the bottom layer.
Okay.
And
if I pull one on, I can select it, and if I hold it, I see a picture of some random chick. But if I let go, it's not there. It's just blank.
Yeah, okay, map is definitely on the back layer. We will disable
half the bar. We tried .jpg.
Yeah. I'll experiment more with that. We'll see if we can get it for future use.
What the shit is that? Oh, it's a dragon.
Yeah. Okay. So this was going to be like a point-by-point reveal. So, yeah. So a bit before. So I'll move you 2 off for now. So a bit before 7, a red-haired elf arrives. Sits down and just waits a bit. So your messages were each given basically predicting the order you would arrive in. So you're all told 7, but for Tim's character, the elven girl, she was told specifically to expect the company of 2 others when she arrived. And then the Dragonborn fellow arrives a little after 7, so fashionably late. Oops. Makes his way to the back. sees the elf sitting there, and do you say anything when you enter? So you would have been told to expect one person there and be expected to wait for one other before things get started.
I curtly nod, grunt, and sit down.
Okay. Can you move those tiles, by the way?
No.
Okay.
Nay.
Go ahead and drag your own tiles then to those spots. And then you can decide where you sit at that table. And I'll have you do the same, Stetson. So you guys wait for a bit. 10 minutes go by, 15 minutes go by, and just as you're maybe thinking about leaving, this rather, perhaps oddly dressed gentleman walks in.
He has, he's in a button-up shirt, suspenders, like a suit jacket, bow tie, very fancy. And I sidle up next to the elf woman, kick my feet up on the table, and I'm like, so who's buying drinks?
You, apparently.
Oh, tisk tisk, my lady. Gentleman never buys drinks for himself. Watch this. And I wander over to okay, is there any other people in the bar right now?
So this is a back room. It's a private room that was presumably reserved by Oracle for this occasion. The bar itself, so it's 7 p.m. People, the dinner crowd is probably mostly left at this point, but the night crowd is starting to come in. So there are, it's a pretty popular bar. So there's probably a good dozen or so people here, and then of course there's a bar staff as well. So a couple bartenders. Couple waitresses as well going to the tables.
Okay. Yeah, never mind. I make myself comfortable.
Okay. Well, at that moment, Tim, your phone starts to ring.
I answer it.
A robotic voice on the other end tells you to turn your phone to speaker and place it on the table.
I do so.
Okay. A robotic voice then starts to speak, saying, "Thank you all for coming. Some of you know more about the purpose of this meeting than the others, but allow me now to go into more detail. Waterdeep has, for centuries, remained an independent port of trade. This has both made it a center of prosperity, but also a den of crime. In recent years, crime has taken a new form in the city, acquisition and smuggling of pre-spell plague artifacts. You see, when the Masked Lords chose to rebuild the city over a century ago, they simply leveled what was left of the wreckage and built the new city on top of the old. Now, as businesses have begun to expand and build, entrances to remnants of the old city are being discovered. This has piqued the interests of several elements, both from within the city and from Faerun at large. I represent one of these factions, one of the Masked Lords of Waterdeep. Publicly, the Masked Lords cannot be seen using city resources to go chasing after ancient artifacts that have become little more than superstition in the public eye. Privately, however, the Masked Lords recognize that it is in the city's best interest if these artifacts are retrieved before they fall into the wrong hands. To that end, my benefactor, one of the Master Lords, has tasked me with assembling a team to try and find and recover some of these relics before they end up in the hands of less reputable factions, both in the city and factions that are now inserting themselves into Faerun or into Waterdeep to hunt these artifacts as well. So in the case of your company, I have gathered people who have who generally have few strong ties to the politics of the city and to its less reputable elements. So today, we are kind of on a tight schedule, so we'll have to get started with just the three of you, but you'll be joined by two others later. So I know you guys have probably not had much time to talk, since I called when I expect the last of you had just shown up. But your company currently consists of Valana Ilrith, a wood elf monk. She is incredibly skilled in the martial arts and with firearms, and will be a great asset if you run into trouble. Mayastar Zernar comes from a military background, and his leadership skills should prove very useful as you navigate the city's underbelly. And Ignatius is a upstanding...
The last person to call me Ignatius was my mother. Iggy, please.
Ignatius is an upstanding member of society with many connections both in Waterdeep and in Faerun in general. His connections will hopefully prove useful, both in getting you the information you need and getting you to places you might not otherwise be able to gain access to. Later on, you'll also be joined by a cleric and a skilled tracker, who... Actually, I'm going to have you three retroactively roll perception here.
Right, hold on. I still have to get used to doing this on the character sheet. That went decently well.
No, we all rolled as ourselves, not as our characters. You have to do it over again.
Oh, actually, how do you
It's at
go
the
up as...
bottom where it says as.
Yep.
Change from your name to your character's name.
Okay, there we go. I'm not re-rolling a 22 though.
I will accept both Stetson's 22 and Valana's 22 for this. Okay. And in addition to the cleric, as you may or may not have noticed, in order to contact you initially, I had a tracker track you down and acquire your information so that I could contact you and arrange this meeting. He and the cleric will be joining you at a later date. For this mission, however, time is somewhat of the essence. For my organization has received word that a company called Zentarum Incorporated has discovered the ruins of an ancient temple, likely believed to be the House of the Moon. This historically was one of the larger temples in Waterdeep, and would be very likely to have, at the very least, holy artifacts of Saloon, if not more powerful magical artifacts from before the Spell Plague. However, as Zentarum Incorporated is already aware of it, we have a short window to get in and get any artifacts out that we can before the corporation starts going through the place themselves. As it happens, Zentarum Incorporated's main office is located just down the street from this bar, and this is a popular place for their employees to socialize after work. So your task for the evening is twofold, essentially. To first determine the location of the entrance to these ruins, and then to get in and acquire any artifacts you can before Zentarum starts work on it in the morning. And with that, the call ends.
Well, quite a wordy fellow. What is everyone's thoughts?
People are not my area of expertise.
Aha. A lovely lady such as yourself should have no problem, but as it so happens, people are my expertise. Pardon me for a sec while I go. Does anyone actually know what the Zentarum, suits are going to look like? Badges, something. Identifiable.
So the area you're in, it is generally kind of white collar area. So business people of all sorts come here. It wouldn't necessarily be easy to tell them apart. Some of them might, if you're lucky, might be wearing a Zentarum ink lapel pin or something of that sort. Okay. Let's see.
How is your constitution, big lizard man?
Fine enough.
I'll look at your bio for just a second here, Tim. Okay. Let's see. That would be. Yeah, let's call this a history check.
Yay.
Yeah, so Iggy and Volana, go ahead and make history checks for me.
Nope.
Okay. Surprisingly, Volana, you are not familiar enough with Zentarum Incorporated for whatever reason to at least be able to recognize their insanity on the street. They're less reputable, so it could just be that you never really cared to learn that. Iggy, however, you believe that you would be able to spot someone if they were wearing like a Zentarum lapel pin or had a tie or something.
Okay, I'm gonna make a perception check then, or I'm gonna actually share that information with, scribble it down on a piece of paper and.
Yep. Yeah, you're welcome to do that.
Yeah, and then share that with the group, and then I'm gonna make a perception check again.
Okay, are you gonna do that from within the back room?
No, I'm gonna know. Oh.
I will also assume most of the people are at the bar.
Yeah, for the
Or the
most part.
tables.
Or the tables, yeah. The bar is probably full. There's probably a few people socializing around the tables as well.
Perception.
Okay. Neither of you notice anyone who stands out as being obviously a Zentarum employee.
Make another perception check.
At some point, it's gonna get very noticeable that we're
on a second scan.
Aha!
Wow. Okay. So I'll say that you both did that as you were coming in, didn't notice anyone. But as you approach the bar, you do notice that over, sitting next to where Maya Star has taken a seat at the bar, he just happens to be sitting next to someone who does appear to have a Zentarum lanyard, actually, that has like a security badge on it, essentially. So they're probably some security employee. Or that are
I walk up.
I glance.
I walk up next to.
Glance over to make sure.
Sorry, go ahead.
I glance over to make sure that Iggy saw that.
Yeah,
Okay.
you both definitely did.
Well,
Okay.
okay, but I don't know that
Yeah,
he saw that.
yeah. I know. I'm just saying for you realize that he quite obviously didn't, especially as he walks over.
I wink.
Stand over at the other end.
Yeah, I wink at Volana, and I walk over between Maya Star and this fellow, and clasp them both on the shoulders, and go, "My, what a boring night. How about a game?" Persuasion check?
Yeah, I would say go ahead.
Oh my god.
Guy kind of turns to look at you and says, "Okay, I don't know you, pal. But I'll have you know, I am the head of Zentarum Security, and I will be very pleased to throw you out of this bar if you bother me again." And turns back to her strength.
I
make another apology, this time persuasion check
No,
to apologize.
Okay, Iggy is already rolled, so what do you say? In your apology.
My deepest apologies. I just started with Centaurum recently. I didn't recognize you. My apologies, sir. Let me at least buy you a drink to make up for it.
He looks kind of grumpy, but there is a kind of a pity on his eyes. Get the sense that he feels a bit of connection with you, having also started out with Zentarum at some point and realizing how hard that is, especially working your way up to the position he's in now. Says, well, I guess it's the least you can do. And kind of signals to the guy sitting next to him on the other side to basically take off. And he does.
Okay.
So you
So
have a seat.
I lean over to the bartender and I'm like, strongest thing you have, the lizard will pay for it.
How do you react to that, Maestro?
He doesn't I whisper this to the bartender.
Oh, okay. Actually, yeah.
I mean, like unless
I would.
unless you want to make a perception check or something.
Yeah, it's up to you, Meister. You can roll perception on that if you want. Yeah, you don't hear that.
Okay. What were you gonna do, my star? Before I interrupted you.
already been done. So I turn back around and sit at the bar.
Okay. I make genial. Congenial. Yeah.
Genial or
That's
congenial.
yeah. Congenial chat with the fellow just about working at this place and just how great of a company it is.
He seems open to listen. He's not taking any particular interest, but he is generally like nodding along with you and generally commiserating.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say he's not making any effort to keep up his end of the conversation, really.
Okay. I motion for the bartender again, and I'm like, 2 shots to celebrate Zentarum.
Okay. Bartender pours you each a shot.
All right. I am gonna check my character sheet because I don't know if I have sleight of hand. I do. I'm just gonna take the shot with him. I don't trust. I got a fucking
let
1
me-
on an 8. So
Do you happen to have those alcohol rules that you used for your last session?
check.
Otherwise, I can look up too. Was that just
I think it was
like
just
a Reddit?
It was
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I
yeah.
found it.
Yeah, a quick unintrusive homebrew set.
Yeah, maybe it's not the same one.
Oh, maybe that isn't the one that I got. Never mind. But If you found one, just use that.
Okay, no, that one doesn't actually have the full rules.
There's a 5e variant rule that I found on the D wiki.
Yep, I see that now. That's probably not gonna use. The other one was like a Kickstarter page. Con plus 1/2 the player's level plus proficiency for proficient con saves.
Oh lord, I made a mistake.
Get some water real quick.
Right, I forgot about that. Well, this will be interesting. Okay, what is this guy's con? Okay. So you each drink? Is that what's happening?
Yes. Do I roll a Constitution save? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, how do you... Yeah, I can just roll it again.
So each character has an intoxication threshold that's equal to your con mod plus 1/2 the player's level plus proficiency. So my 0, 0, 1.2, so 2 drinks. Oh, no.
Okay, I see. So you get intoxicated after you... It's not a roll, it's just you get intoxicated after you drink a certain number of drinks.
Yes.
Okay. Shoot, what is this guy's
back.
level?
I
back.
actually turned to him. I turned to him a little bit drunk. I'm like, this fellow here actually is interested in becoming a security guard. You know what I think the best way to test that? See if you guys can stay drink for drink. That's the measure of a true man.
So...
Oh my god, what's happening?
Okay, he's pretty clearly not buying it and says, so like I'm willing to buy that that you're a new employee, but this guy doesn't really look like he's a guy looking this strong probably isn't going for a security guard position. He's probably former military. So he's just not buying your story.
Shit.
And he is looking slightly more irked with you now.
Then I reach
definitely
into
from the
my
table.
pocket and I pull out my dice set.
Okay.
What?
And I look at that because it's the security guard that's sitting immediately to my right.
Yep. Yeah, he was just sitting in between you and Iggy until Iggy wandered off a bit.
I look at him and I motion with my eyes over to Iggy. And I say, let's forget that bloke for a second. How about we just play a nice game of dice?
Okay, I like this.
Okay.
So, Iggy, it probably would be good if you kept with your whole wandering off thing. Good as annoyance. So the guard gives you a look up and down, kind of approvingly, and says, "Yeah, I'll drink to that." And has another drink of the beer that he already had before Iggy had ordered him a shot. And yeah, so um,
So if I win, let's say Iggy over there can shadow you for a day. Get a sense of what security is like. Gets clearance into some of these. More. I try to con my way into getting Iggy into the building for a little while.
okay. And what if I win? Dart says.
What if you win?
Well,
Name your terms.
as I said, I mean, guy like you look like you could get something much better than a security job, but truth be told, Zentarum could use someone like you. So if I win, let's say I get you into Zentarum, and you put me as the person who referred you. So clearly he's seeing this as a huge business opportunity and a chance of promotion for getting Zentarum some nice Dragonborn muscle.
Sorry, hang on. So
So
if he
we're
wins, we get Iggy in. If we lose, we get Nick in. Man, gee, I don't know if this is gonna work, guys.
He's a security guard. He's not paid for his intelligence.
No, it makes sense. I think it works.
Okay.
let's throw a round of beer for everyone sitting at the bar.
Okay. And what's your game
Iggy
here?
immediately moves to the front of the bar.
So you can only have 2 drinks, right, Citizen, before you're drunk?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I get a second drink, and that's liquid courage,
Okay.
which actually gives me +2 charisma. Yeah.
So I don't know how much money I have if I'm able to.
Oh,
that,
right. I was supposed to actually give you guys money to start with. Well, just say you almost certainly have enough to buy a round of drinks. I'll sort that out later.
About that.
Yeah, that would have been something good to remember. If it gets to a point where that's important, well, we'll sort that out. But
Okay.
how are you guys on equipment? Otherwise, I should ask.
I have a gun. And
Yeah,
I have
I've
the
got-
3 reloads of ammo that you said we have. And I have the smartphone and credit card you said we have. Because my class gave me 11 gold pieces. I still need equipment.
I forgot to update my equipment to this world, so I have a lance instead of whatever gun I'm using. But everything else is updated, I think.
Okay.
We may have to take a 15-minute before we get into combat, but
Yeah, that's fine. We'll sort that out if it comes to it.
I've got everything, I think. But
Yeah. I'll just go ahead and link the Modern Handbook here, Nick, so whenever
Message
you've got
received.
a minute.
Okay.
Obviously,
Yeah.
finish what you're doing now, but
Yeah. For you, Nick, we had decided that you were just going to take a.
Yeah, I wrote it down somewhere, but I can't remember where.
Yeah, it was one of the shotguns, probably.
Oh yeah, that's right. Let me pull it up.
they're only double barrels and combat shotguns.
Yeah. I would say tactical would be what you would take. Actually, to be on tier with everyone else, probably start with double barrel. Yeah, especially because of the CQB mechanic. And then 3 reloads for that. Actually, since that only is 2 rounds per reload, I'll give you 5 to start out with.
while we're waiting, I turn towards
Vala, please.
Alana. Thank you. And I'm like,
Please,
so,
Vala, please.
Vala, Perfect. So any you in town with anyone? Boyfriend, girlfriend?
Not interested, thank you.
I'm really looking forward to your interactions with Forrest's character.
But no, I am not currently attached.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so what kind of dice game are you looking to play, Nick? Do you just want to do like gambling on odds, evens, or high low or something? Two people,
I'll
that'd be pretty straightforward.
Yeah, essentially, Texas Hold'em best of 5, dice and 2 shakes, kind of thing, or high dice if that's just easiest.
Probably just high dice would be easiest. So
Okay.
you'll each pick alternate picking high or low. And yeah, we'll do 5 rounds. Best 3 out of 5 wins, and I'll do the rolls.
Okay.
So since you presumably chose the game, he'll get first pick. So he's going to choose high. So 11 through 20 would be high. 1 through 10 would be low.
Okay.
So he wins the first roll.
Anti-magic?
Hi.
What?
Oh, never mind. I see what's happening. I'm dumb.
You're going high, Nick?
I'm going high.
My star, I guess. Oh, wait.
You're just rolling 20, not
Yeah.
rolling d20.
Okay, so he actually loses the first one.
He rolled so poorly that his dice went over the bar. You have to go and get it because you rolled a.
Yep. That happened. That's canon. Okay, you win the second one. So he's going to choose next, and he's going to go low this time. Okay, so that's 3 out of 5 that you've won now, so you officially win. So that means that Iggy gets to shadow, so he's gonna kind of disgruntled because he's missed out on a great opportunity and potential promotion. So he looks over and makes eye contact with Iggy and waves him over.
Smiling the biggest smile.
And a round of beers on our new friend.
So he's gonna politely decline that one because that would put him over his limit as well, and he's aware of that. But he's like, well, if we're gonna have to do a day with you, let's get this over with. And he
I'll see you in the morning.
claps you on the shoulder pretty hard and starts walking out of the bar.
I grab Iggy by his arm, and pull him close to me, and I said, "If you fuck this up, you're gonna answer to me."
Roll intimidation.
Yeah.
Okay.
I smile a grand smile and I bow and I'm like, oh, no worries. I've spent most of my life lying. I think I think I can handle this.
And then I let him go on his way.
Okay.
Right. I'll motion to both of them before they go. Should trade numbers.
Oh, you're asking for my number.
Oh God.
Keep your mind on the game.
I write down my number and leave. And then just assume that they're going to text me their numbers.
And I do that.
Well, this will be interesting.
Okay. What do you two do now that Iggy has left the bar with?
I say to Maya Star, this will be interesting.
Okay.
Sorry, is that how your name is pronounced, Maya Star?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that all you're gonna do?
Yeah, I look at her, I say, I'm not sure what to make of any of this. But if there's a chance that we can save public from anything that the corporations are going to do, then it's worth the risk.
That would be nice. I'm worried about how much this Oracle seems to know about us.
And I'm worried about placing concerned about Iggy, but we have little choice in the matter right now.
A nod.
Okay.
What time do you want to meet? I'm asking you.
Let's give it a couple hours.
Do you remember that Oracle did say that Zentarum was going to start their excavating tomorrow, most likely?
Well, I mean,
So hopefully Iggy can find something that time.
should we say meet back here tomorrow morning before Zentarum opens?
Sounds like a plan. I'll be here. Meet
And
1
10
hour before.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sorry, what was that? I didn't catch that.
Meet 1 hour before Zentarum's gonna open.
Okay. So that would probably be around 8 a.m. Normal business hours. So if you want
They open around 8.
They open around 8, so you want to be here by 7, probably at the latest, if you want to get a head start on them. It will take them a bit longer to get started because, they're a big corporation. They have to mobilize everything, get everything in position, be organized, etc. So you will, even if you get here an hour earlier, you'll definitely have more than an hour's lead on them by the time they actually get everything organized. Okay.
Trade numbers with Maya Star, and then presumably one of us texts Ziggy. So meet at the GIF at 7. Not it.
All right. Yes, I will do it. Messages, Kurt. 1
Why
hour
don't you-
before.
I would just go ahead and type it in chat. Might be a good way to do text messages. Since we actually have a text interface.
How do you spell corporation?
CORPOR.
I think he means the corporation's
Oh.
name.
Yeah, the name of the. Sorry, that was unclear.
I understood.
Zentarum Inc. would be
okay.
Yeah.
I remember them. They're dicks.
They have not stopped. I mean, they're on the surface they are less so, but Oracle probably has made it fairly clear that they are still kind of dicks.
Okay, so I'm looking for information on where they're doing this, when they're doing it.
Pretty much all the stuff about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
much as
where
it's
is most important.
Yeah, where is the one you definitely want to know?
Looking over your shoulder as you do this. Yes, this will be interesting. I will walk out.
Okay.
Okay.
So Iggy, you go off the guard.
Yes.
He's going to take you to Zentarum headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing anything while he takes you here at all?
Hang on, are you?
I
Did I misunderstand this? Is he doing this tonight?
Yeah.
No.
apparently security guards work late.
Late shift.
So he'll
After the bar for some reason. Yeah, I don't know.
should
he
still be able to
he
get in.
drank and then he went. Well, okay, then we shouldn't. We should stay close by in case he has trouble and be ready to go tonight if we're able to. I thought you were meeting him there tomorrow. I thought that's what you said.
That's what I thought, but I think like the idea is to.
No,
I guess
that works for
stuff.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then basically undo everything we've talked about in the last like 10 minutes. And
Yeah, Master
I guess
Icon.
I'd say I'll just wait in the back room for him to contact us. In which case I suppose he will need our numbers, so I text him.
Yeah, bar is pretty late hours, so probably good until at least like 2. Maybe even 3.
I put them in my phone as cute lesbian and lizard person.
God.
I don't know if that's important.
It's important to me.
Okay. So I follow him to the Zentarum offices, where he takes me inside. So what's the process of going in?
Yeah.
Like,
So assuming you aren't interrupting anything he does, he's basically just going to take you in. He takes you through the first security checkpoint in the lobby. So it's this is Zentarum Incorporated is a very high-end R&D corporation. So they have your typical entry lobby security, metal detectors, etc.
okay.
So he'll take you in through the first one. He'll just wave you through basically and say, yeah, he's with me, it's okay. He's shadowing for security. He takes you to an elevator, punches in his personalized code to take
Which
you
I
up to...
memorize.
Okay. Make a perception check for that. Okay, yep. So you are able to do that. So he takes you up to the security office. Checks in there, says, hey Bob, to pretty large, burly orc gentleman.
Okay.
Wearing a black suit and sunglasses, even though it's, nighttime and they're in the building.
Yeah.
But he's an orc, so he feels like that looks cool. And introduces you. Bob, the orc, just gives a kind of grunt. Head of security turns to you and says, yeah, I don't actually know his name. He just grunts, so we just call him Bob. And then, so does his check-in there. Says, okay, so we're going to start. What we do here is we do a round of all the R&D floors, and we do a round of all the offices, and then we do a round of the administration offices. And then we repeat that every hour until morning at regular intervals. Bob and a couple other guards alternate between us, so we always have someone going around the floors. So he starts walking you through.
Okay. So starting at the R&D offices, I'm gonna make perception checks to see if I notice anything referencing the temple.
Okay.
Just as I'm going through. Okay, that didn't work.
Okay. So there's roughly 5 floors of this entire building isn't terribly large. There's just basically 5 floors of R&D in this one. They are large floors. Some of them are technically like 2 stories with enough room to 2 to 3 stories, enough room to work on larger projects. But still roughly only 5 floors of R&D. So if you want, you can make a perception check each floor and just kind of listen to Bob, or not Bob, the security guard. As he kind of explains to you what each office is. He won't be specifying specific projects, so you probably won't get anything that way unless you try to get it out of him. But otherwise, you can just look around and see if you notice anything on each floor. Okay. So the second floor is where things do start to get interesting. So the first floor was more tech focused. But on the second floor, when you first go in, you notice that it has a sign on the top of the door to the floor that labels it as acquisitions. And as you go through, you start to notice things that are a bit less tech-based. So the most noticeable thing is this is one of the larger floors. So in the middle, they actually have a full airship. That you still see them around occasionally. Their airplanes are just starting to be invented, so you don't have like airliners or anything. So if you want to get large groups of people across the continent with relative swiftness, they still use these old airships. A lot of them are in decline. The art to make them is lost because that was something honed by pre-spell plague mages. So something like this is a pristine airship. Something like this is a rarity. But you also notice things like stones, staves, all sorts of things that are pretty clearly pre-spell plague artifacts and relics. And as you go around, you do notice, so if you think of the floor as like a big rectangle, you're starting on one end and moving to the other. So we can just kind of draw that here. So, not to scale.
Right.
But you're starting here. Circling around. As you get to this end, there's not actually a staircase on this side, but there's an office at this end of the hall. It's a pretty large office. Looks clearly to be a meeting room of some sort. And as you look in through the window, as you're passing by, you see that on one end of the meeting room, it has a big dry erase board. And on that dry erase board are pinned several documents, one of which does say House of the Moon. Unfortunately, since you're doing this guided tour, you can't get a clear look at the smaller text. So you can clearly see that this room does have stuff related to the House of the Moon in it. But you can't get like a location or anything out of it.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop him and be like, hey, do you like music? Ask him if he likes music, I guess.
He's kind of taken aback, but it doesn't seem to have any, security risk or anything. So he says, yeah, I guess. I mean, doesn't everyone?
Yeah, so I apologize. It just randomly came to me. I noticed, so there's this band, this very highly experimental band, like I was inspired by, I'm going to roll a persuasion check for this. But I was like, very inspired by the stuff that you're collecting here. Here, I actually have them on my old MP3 player that I have. Then they pull out this battered MP3 player and headphones, and I'm like, the best way to listen to it though, stand here, close your eyes. I'm not gonna like leave or anything, but stand here, close your eyes, listen to it. It's amazing.
He looks a little bit hesitant, especially when you tell him to close his eyes, but at the same time, you don't look like a security threat to him, and like your behavior in the bar, like he just doesn't.
He's just a bit dorky.
Yeah, like he doesn't believe that like you're gonna do anything. So it's like, sure, and he so he takes the MP3 player from you, which I imagine looks like a banged up Zune or something.
Yeah.
Puts in the headphones and starts listening. He closes his eyes.
I pull out my phone, turn the sound off, and then zoom in on the picture, take a picture of it, and text it to the two of them.
Nice. I would not have thought of that. Okay.
Yeah. And I clap him on the back, and I'm like, "So what do you think?"
It's like, well, I gotta admit, Iggy, this is actually I guess he doesn't know your name. No, he does because Maestro said it. Yeah. So I gotta admit, Iggy, this is pretty good stuff. You got a good ear.
Yeah. I'll play you something sometime. It'll be good.
Okay.
And then we go through the rest of the office business.
Okay.
I look at the picture he sent.
Yes, I make my way back to the room. Make sure that Valana, right?
Just follow, please.
Vala. Make sure that Vala saw it.
D finds me looking at it.
Okay. So I assume you guys are both going to look at that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have you both also make perception checks.
I'm not very perceptive.
Okay. I'm going to give you advantage on this one, Vala, since you are more familiar with Waterdeep. Okay. So Maya Star, you're not as familiar with the city as the others are. So, like, I mean, you do see that there's a map, but I mean, it honestly took you a bit to find the bar. You had left early, doing your due diligence, but it still, as it was, you still arrived a little late. Just because it took you a bit. Valana, though, or Vala, as she prefers to be called, is more familiar with the city, and notices pretty right away this map, and sees a thumbtack basically just embedded in part of the map. So if we look at, I have to drag you guys over here. If we look at a map of Waterdeep.
Any second now.
I'm in.
Okay. You guys
Is it pixelated for anyone else, or is it just me?
It will probably start out pixelated. You might have to wait a bit or zoom in.
Yeah,
It's
I'm just gonna go
for
with
me.
Yeah, as long as they see it, that's fine.
I'm trying to find out exactly what this is. I'll just make something up because I can't actually find out. So you guys are in roughly this part of the city. You're in the dock ward. So, since a lot of your travelers, it would have been most convenient for you to find lodging in this area, and the bar is just on the corner of the street there. The location given for the House of the Moon, with this red thumbtack, is roughly up here. So that is in the castle ward of the city, which had previously been home to the city's elite pre-invasion. Now, the playing field in the city is a bit more leveled. Generally, going from north to south is still rich to poor, roughly speaking. But the castle ward is not nearly as limited as it used to be. So you do find like corporations and stuff with developments there now. So the Zentarum office that Iggy is at currently is actually right there in the castle ward as well. And they have just recently purchased that area. So you believe, based on both, based on this map, that is likely where at least the Zentarum Incorporated believes that the House of the Moon is located.
Yep. I explained such to Maestar.
I nod along and grunt.
Okay.
Text Iggy. Would I know? I presume I would know what the area that the pin is that they think it is called.
Yeah. So it would still generally be referred to as the castle ward. That it's
Nothing more specific than that.
So that is the mountain that's along is that's Mount Waterdeep. So it's you could say it's probably along the northeast side of Mount Waterdeep in the castle ward. And you could probably point out the red pin on the map to him too, and he'd be able to see that if you pointed it out.
Okay. I continue on my tour, I guess.
Okay. So this continues on. He keeps pointing stuff out to you. Don't really encounter anything for the rest of the way. There aren't any like people breaking in or anything. It's a pretty quiet night at the R&D headquarters of Zentarum Incorporated.
Since it's a slow night, I start up a conversation. I'm like, so what big projects are you working on? You got any massive security things you're searching for, or like massive security details you're sending out somewhere? Ooh,
Holy
finally.
cow! Okay. Well, I was gonna say there's no way he'd tell you that. But he did have a couple of drinks before work, which he probably shouldn't have. And like he was really impressed with your music, so he's like, well, no, I shouldn't be telling you this, but you seem like good stuff, Iggy. So we did recently make a pretty huge breakthrough. So Zentarum Incorporated, we bill ourselves as this huge R&D company, and we do a lot of that. But where the real money is, it's an acquisition. So remember that second floor that we went to? I had that big airship there and stuff. That's where all the real money comes from. Getting this old world artifacts working again and selling them to the highest bidder. So recently, and you didn't hear this from me, okay? Recently, the higher ups hit a gold mine here in Waterdeep. This old temple, it's supposed to be the largest temple in the city, House of the Moon. They found it. Going in tomorrow. So, if you play your cards right, I might be able to get you in on guarding these floors with me when it comes in.
No way. Interesting. Yeah, that would be awesome, actually. So how many folks are you sending out there?
Oh, we got a whole team. So it's mostly it's mostly the R&D crew. Gotta do this whole methodical shit. So they go through They make sure everything's safe. So like the place hasn't even been touched yet. Doors haven't even been opened. So first they have these we have these mages that go in and they test doors, make sure there's no like magical traps or anything. Which, I mean, come on, it's a temple. They're not gonna put magical traps on that, but procedure. They go over that stuff with a fine-tooth comb, man. Zentarum is serious about this shit.
Yeah.
So they got mages, and then after the mages go in and give their okay, then they open it, and they just basically just go through room by room. And we have a whole R&D team on a project like this, so it's like 50 people. Just clearing each room one at a time. And then we also have our own guards monitoring the place too, because we want to make sure that no idiots from the town go in and trip some magical booby trap and get themselves turned into a frog or summon a greater demon or something. You know how it is, these townsfolk.
Right.
Unfortunately, those are the big guns, so you won't see me down there, but we have the more important job anyway.
Aren't you head of security?
So there's a difference between security that I do here and acquisitions response team security. So they, oh boy, you wouldn't believe the stuff they can do, man. So like your friend MyStar there, he might have been a good pick for them, but you and I mean, don't get me wrong, they're definitely important on the ground, but we have the really important job because we have to guard the stuff while it's here. Like that temple has like a couple of artifacts, but the stuff that I do, I guard all of it.
Okay, well, that's interesting. We're nearing the end of our rounds, I guess.
Yeah. So at this time, like he's been warming up too throughout the night. You haven't done anything stupid like break in and steal plans or anything that he's aware of. So he's looking forward to this, and he's like, well, I mean, I've got the whole day with you, so you've got the night shift ends in a couple hours here, but I got the afternoon shift that I do too. I'm head of security, so it's not like I don't get to call it after an 8-hour shift. I have to be here most of the time.
Right.
So the schedule after this basically is get off work, go back to the bar, get hammered, go to sleep, and then come back around 3 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Check in and see how things are going. So if you want to meet back up with me then, or if you want to get some drinks with me, we could do that too. I'll just be going back down to the Grumpy GIF.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Hopefully I'll see you there. Otherwise, I might be back, or I'll probably be back for the evening shift.
Awesome. It's been swelly. Honestly, if you want to apply for this, I think you've got talent. I can get you in.
Okay. You have a good day, man.
Yeah, you too, bud.
I'm gonna go now. I roll my eyes.
Quite the reverse.
Away and walk away.
It's amazing what a Night of Bonding can do for you.
Our very own Hildebrand.
And with that, I leave as swiftly as I can and run back to the Grumpy GIF.
Okay, so it's probably
He got really lucky. So I was gonna I was gonna invite him out for a smoke and then shiv him.
Holy shit.
But he apparently he doesn't control any of the. This is out of character knowledge. No one can know. But if he was like, I just guard this shit here, I was like, oh damn it, killing you isn't gonna help anything.
Yeah, no, he's a building guard. He's not one of their mercs. So Zentarum, this is also out of character unless you guys end up rolling history on it or something, which I don't think. Who was the one that actually got the pin? That was you, wasn't it, Iggy?
Yeah,
Who got the pin or who noticed it?
Who was able to recognize it? Recognize the.
Well, I didn't roll perception for it. But
yeah, no, the person who got the history check and was able to identify what Zentarm insignia would be.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah. So Iggy is the only one that would probably.
You cut out.
Zentarm, in addition to being an R&D company, is also a mercenary company. So in this era, it'd be PMC basically.
Okay.
They are lesser known for that, and that organization goes by a different name, which I haven't determined yet. But they do have that associated, and those people would likely be the ones guarding the place here.
Okay. I meet back at the Grumpy Gift with the other two.
Okay, and this would be probably around 6 a.m. So a bit earlier than you're originally going to meet if in the other timeline. That has now been retconned.
Nod at him when he comes in.
Go up and down. Nice work.
I should get some advance pay for that. I did to spend a whole evening with that asshole. He called my music good. Good. Not great. Good. Charlatan. Anyway, I hope you guys are as good with those guns as I am with dealing with idiots, because we have quite a crew waiting for us guarding the place.
Well, I suppose the best thing to do would be to wander over there and take a look around.
Yep.
Okay. So I assume you guys will do that.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. On your way out of the bar, the security guard, whose name you learned was Jeff. Apparently, security guards just don't have very creative names. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Jeff walks in.
The Overwatch team.
Yes, Jeff Kaplan with 2 Ks is the security guard's name. It's spelled with a G instead of a J. Yeah, he walks in and says, "Iggy, I'm so glad you made it. Let me buy you a drink, pal."
I walk over and
That
I'm
sounds
like,
like a wonderful idea. Iggy, you stay here.
I glare at him, but nod.
Okay, so you're staying with Jeff?
It sounds like I'm staying with Jeff. Okay.
Presumably that's texted to you.
Yes.
We need to get a group chat going here. Group chats are fly.
I'm going to assume that you're texting this as Maestar and Vala are heading out and Iggy is getting a drink bought for him. Yeah. Okay. While you're typing that, yeah, I'll assume you guys have a group chat set up. So specify otherwise if you want to send to one person. In the meantime, it is probably a fair distance. It'd probably take you half an hour to an hour on foot to get there. You can probably call the equivalent of an Uber, which I'll also have to come up with a name for, or a taxi, to take you there. and you can
Or bus.
or bus, yeah. You can assume you have enough money to pay that fare for the session. So where do you want to be dropped off specifically?
Far enough away that it's not obvious that we're making a beeline there.
Okay. So the general area, so the new city is roughly where these buildings are. So the more this stuff, that's more old city stuff that hasn't been built on yet. So if you wanted to get a good view, you could go to. You have a couple options. You could either go. There are some nice hiking paths that go up the mountain that you could probably look down from, or you could go to. Let's see if you can get into any of these buildings. There's you can take a look around and see if there's anything you could climb up or any buildings that have public roof access or something for you to get a view of. So you have a couple options there. Or you could also just like stand across the street from it too.
Let's just get to the old city and just walk past it for swords, see what we're looking at.
Yep.
So go ahead and roll perception checks. Okay. Mystar, you have a hard time making out anything really. This is Waterdeep is still a confusing city to you. You see buildings that are clearly newer, and you see what basically just looks like piles of rubble that are all fenced off for the most part. Um, you honestly, just looking, can't even tell what the Zentarum specific section is. Vala, though, you do see where the location is, so that kind of yellow circle embedded in the side on the northeast side of the mountain there. You notice, so it's still like that entire side is just like rubble that's all cordoned off with chain link fences, basically. But you notice that you do come to a section that does have the what you now recognize as the Zentarum logo on a placard on the side of the fence. And you don't really see anything that appears obviously to be an interest, but you see like a hole in the ground leading down with just with some like digging equipment set up next to it, but you don't see anyone obviously standing by it. It looks pretty empty right now.
Nod towards it as we pass. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah. Good. I'll trust your judgment. I don't know this area very well.
It certainly fits. That's what we know about the place.
Why don't you shoot Iggy a message? Tell him to finish up what he's doing. Meet us over here as fast as he can.
Okay, so we're going to go back to Iggy now. We're going to rewind the, say, 10 minutes it took you guys to get up there. So Iggy, the drink you had, the shot you had last night is certainly worn off by now. So, but he has just placed another shot in front of you.
Okay.
And is obviously expecting you to drink it as he drinks his own.
I cheers, and then I do sleight of hand to throw it, like, behind me.
Okay. He does not notice.
Okay.
So he's chatting you up. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
He's.
I was gonna say,
Go ahead.
Fuck's sake, guys.
you go ahead.
No, you. Okay. So he's just kind of chatting with you. He kind of wants to know more about the kind of music you play.
Mm-hmm. I actually pull out my banjo, which I left here retconably. And I'm like, I'm gonna start playing you something. And then I start playing something, which I'm gonna roll performance kind of poorly. And then I how do I do this? 1 second. Use suggestion.
Okay. Let me read this.
I'm gonna start some pizza. Maybe.
Must make a wisdom saving throw. Okay.
And the spell save DC should be 14? Doesn't seem right.
I think that's automatically calculated, so it probably is.
Charisma, spell save DC. Because I guess my charisma is 4, but shouldn't it also include character level?
I think it should include your proficiency. Let me take a look at your character sheet here quickly. I thought it included proficiency. Maybe I'm wrong.
Let me just look at the... Eight plus your proficiency bonus plus your charisma modifier, so it
Okay.
probably is correct.
Yeah, because the proficiency bonus for you would be 2.
Yeah.
Possibly, since your charisma modifiers were okay. Yeah. So 14 is the save DC.
Yep.
I don't think this guy has any bonuses to saves. Or I guess he'd have his wisdom modifier.
Are you fucking kidding me? Well,
Okay, so
I guess he doesn't do anything. I'm like, you should go home and take a nap, and he's like, no.
yeah. His reaction's like, oh, I mean, in due time, man. I gotta get good and hammered before I do that. Come on, I'll buy you another round.
Actually, I'll buy each of us 5 shots.
It's like, wow, man after my own heart. Let's get this going.
Okay, I make another sleight of hand check to So like he takes a shot, and then I try to replace. Oh God. Okay, I failed the sleight of hand to throw it back, and I splash it in my face. Or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Play it off. You're splashing a shot in your face.
He failed a sleight of hand check. Probably.
Let's say you're too drunk and you need to go home.
Oh yeah, actually, persuasion, go. I'm like, sorry man, I think I've had too much. You finish the rest of these. I leave some money on the table. Like I've got to go. I had some before you showed up, so.
See. Yeah, we gotta work you up here, buddy. You're. I mean, I gotta admit, you are a bit on the scrawny side. But still, like if you're gonna be working with me, you gotta be able to hold your own. So go get some rest, and I'll see you this afternoon here. Okay?
All right, you have a good day, man. And I slap him drunkenly on the shoulder.
Okay. So presumably you go to join the others.
Yes.
Okay.
The minute I see them, I'm like, if he shows up here, I'm shooting him.
So it went well.
He's finishing off 8, 9 shots. I don't know. Probably dead. Hope he's dead. Anyway.
Excuse me, I'm writing his name down.
Jeff. Oh no. I've created Olivius for my own game.
Good times.
Okay. So what are your next steps?
I point out the hole to Iggy. So I think that's where it is. A little odd there are no guards up top here, though.
So the hole is where like we think that the entrance to the temple is.
He thinks that's where they think it is, anyway.
Okay. Well, I suppose we should go check it out. You guys armed?
Yes. How are you two at being quiet?
It's a really good question. I don't know off the top of my head if I even have stealth. I'm better at being loud.
I once walked through a horde of sleeping dragons and only woke 2 of them up.
Oh, well, good. If we're going to face dragons, but we're going to go face armed guards who are prepared to fight off, prepared to kick us in the teeth if we
So
look like we're.
I'm not quite.
Okay. Let me take a look first, then. A little stealth. No, cool. And should I ease my way onto the construction site? Well, digging site.
Okay. You do have
As
to
she
get...
goes in,
Wait. You do have to get past the chain link fence first. So how you want to do that is up to you.
There's no gate? Or...
There is, but it is locked. There's a padlock on it.
How high can you jump?
There is no barbed wire on the top, so that is an option.
I fall over. Step on my hands and push up to that.
Works for me.
Yep, I'll give you advantage if you do that.
Athletics, I suppose.
Or acrobatics. Either one.
Actually, I have proficiency in athletics. Better at acrobatics. Oh, baby.
Yes, you are. You. So my star puts out his hands for you to kind of jump up on, but instead you don't even really pay attention to that. You just back up a few paces, take a running jump, and just do a somersault basically over it.
I let out a low whistle, like.
Yeah, and I let out a giant guffaw.
I look slightly embarrassed before I continue on.
Okay. So you're heading over to the hole. Okay, go ahead and make a perception check.
I lean over to Maya Star and I'm like, did I mention that there might be magical traps to her?
Okay. You don't see anything besides a large hole that's got a kind of diagonal ramp leading down into the ground.
You may want to use your phone.
I'll go down the ramp.
Okay. It does get progressively darker as you go down. They haven't, besides digging into the area and excavating this, they haven't set up any like lighting down the tunnel yet. Okay, that's what I was wondering. So you have dark vision, so that is not a problem for you. So you go down, and after about like 30 yards, you find a large set of stone doors.
I still haven't seen any people.
Nope, there's no one in the tunnel at all. The doors are sealed shut still.
Looks like we should be safe to go over.
I'm assuming you would have told me if my character had noticed cameras or anything like that.
Yes, there are none set up there.
Alright, hop on, I'll give you a boost over, Iggy.
Alright. I sort of
you get advantage because
yeah.
he's boosting your.
There you go.
Oh, holy shit.
I like the net 20s and 18 for you. So the way you do this, it's not particularly graceful, but you basically try to imitate what Vala did. You take a running jump, realize pretty quickly that you aren't going to clear it. So instead of running past Maya Star like Vala did, you run and do take a leap off of his raised hands and do kind of a flailing jump over the fence.
Landing on my feet, presumably.
So it's up to Maya Star now to make it over.
I'll just climb the fence over.
Okay, so you get most of the way up, but the fence isn't really meant to support the weight of a dragonborn, and as you get to the top, you just start sort of leaning back towards the ground, and find yourself realize that you're basically going to pull the fence down if you continue this way.
Then I
Go ahead and make a perception check.
can only end well.
Okay.
That's your best perception check yet.
Yeah, that's good enough. So you do notice, so you look around, looking for some way to help yourself over. And as you look around, look across the street, and do see that the one of the apartment buildings across the street does have a trash can, like the kind you might find in a normal city residential area, sitting out that you could probably bring over and climb onto to climb over the fence.
Okay. I go get it.
Okay.
I set it up.
You just set it up right next to the gate?
Yes.
Okay. And with that, I won't even make you roll for that. You can just basically climb over with that.
Okay.
I
then
I slow clap.
I shoot him a glare, but don't say anything. Then I turn back. And am I able to reach through the fence or like
Yeah,
push
it's
the garbage can away so that it's not obvious?
yeah. I'll have you
Maybe pizza.
make a strength or athletics check, whichever is better for you. Okay, so you're able to push through and kick it most of the way across the street. It does kind of fall over on the other side. It isn't where it started, but it's also not near the gate, so it's not obvious that it was used to climb the fence or anything.
Okay.
Most people passing by will probably just assume it got like knocked over by a car or something.
Okay. All right, then we make our way down. Well, I make our way down.
I light a cigarette and follow.
Okay. You find Vala is just standing next to these two stone doors.
I'm back.
Okay. Maestar and Iggy has joined you. Iggy is smoking a cigarette, and they find you just standing next to the two stone doors.
There's I lit it so that I'd have some light.
Sure you did. Well, certainly looks like there's something down here.
Open these
who
doors.
Who wants to poke the door?
I have not checked. Do either of you know how to look for magic traps, or we just toast if we encounter any?
What is that actually?
That's actually a good question. Probably be Arcana, I would assume.
I am not skilled in that, but I have jack of all trades. So, can I make an Arcana check on skilled? Is it?
With your jack of all trades, I'll say yes, just because you're well traveled enough that chances are you've encountered some magic before of some sort.
Okay.
In various forms. So, okay. You do not detect any sign of magical traps on the doors.
Okay. I'm still gonna cast Unseen Servant.
Oh, that's creative.
And I'm gonna tell it to push the door open.
Okay. The Unseen Servant definitely struggles with the doors. They're very heavy, like very heavy stone.
So it has a strength of 2.
Yes. Quite obviously meant to be opened by at least like 2 people though, and they don't budge. But nothing happens to the Unseen Servant either.
Okay. Pretty certain that we can push the doors open at least. I'll have him walk through afterwards, but
I will pull my 45 from my vest and motion for them to open the door while I cover them. Moving things
and I'm like, I'll take the gun. I'm not very strong. You can open the door.
Are you good with guns? You kind of implied you weren't.
I pull out my own pocket pistol and I'm like, I have this.
Oh dear. Alright.
Alright. I'm gonna go up and try myself as well.
Strength, just a strength check, not a strength saving throw.
Oh, she's proficient, will be the same thing.
I'm not proficient. So
God. Okay.
How do I click strength? Oh, I see. Oop.
Yeah. Maybe have your Unseen Servant roll as well.
Okay, you wanted to roll with a strength of 2.
Yeah, so slash R 1d20 minus
4.
4. Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. I
All
step back.
4 of us, do we make it?
Yeah. So all 4 of you, like it started out with just Maya Star and Vala pushing against one of these doors. Iggy joins in and slowly making progress. So Iggy just kind of nods towards his unseen servant, gestures with his head toward the door, and the shapeless force just kind of shambles over, pushes over your heads, and with that, um, it's finally enough to slowly push the door open. And okay, we're gonna try lightning again. We'll see how this works. Okay. And we're gonna do this a little haphazardly. Okay. Does that room show up for you?
If by room you mean that 2x7 strip of squares, yes.
Yes. Okay. Good. Go ahead and drag your characters in there, in whatever order you want to be in. So that is, as it looks, basically 2 people wide. Okay. So you see, actually I can do a bit more here. Okay. So this is the hallway you enter into to start with. You can see on either side of you, there are basically 4 doors on either side. And then a set of larger doors at the end of the hallway.
There's also solid stone doors you can't peek through or anything.
Yep. The ones on the side are probably wooden. You might be able to peek under those.
I'm gonna do another Arcana check. See if I notice anything.
You do not.
General vicinity.
One second here.
I'm gonna grab water. Oh, you're back.
Okay, should be set to go when Stitzing gets back. Okay. Yeah, so what do you do?
Anybody have tomb experience?
I thought this was a temple.
Temple experience, then?
And that I have been in them. Yes, I remember the last one looking quite like this. I try to look through the door to my right here.
Yeah. I'm just gonna stand behind her.
Yep, so you're just like looking under the door? Or through like a keyhole or something?
However I can, yeah.
These, you probably get the best view looking under the gap between the door and the floor. Go ahead and roll perception. So looking under, and you can do this for all 4 rooms. These, it looks like they were probably, just by your guess, there you see like beds and chairs in them. So you would guess that these are probably quarters for like the acolytes of the temple. Can't make out much more than that though from this view. Anything in particular you're looking for there, Iggy?
So I am going to search through my knowledge of history that I have dabbled in, and see if I know how these old temples would be constructed.
Okay.
Any songs that reference them or something like that.
Yeah, so this temples in general of the pre-spell plague era, you aren't sure on, but this one in particular, the House of the Moon, was a very well-known temple. As I said, it was generally believed to be the largest in Waterdeep, which will not actually be to scale by this map. But you know that the layout of this one, so it did have these acolyte quarters on the sides, opened up into a grand atrium with an altar in the back and several rooms coming off the side.
Right.
You also
So
know.
these are going to be. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, with the 21, you also know that the Temple of the Moon was rumored in some of the older songs to have some secret vaults where sacred artifacts were stored.
Okay. Cool. So these are probably going to be the living quarters. But they're probably worth pillaging anyway. See what we might find.
Pillaging, huh? Alright. Try opening the door here.
It is locked.
I suppose lockpicking is in your repertoire.
Maybe. It's not a skill. That's interesting.
In the base
Thieves'
game,
tools.
it was Thieves' Tools.
So if you have Thieves' Tools, you can you get a proficiency bonus basically to lockpicking and maybe some other bonuses too. I don't remember. But if you don't have Thieves' Tools, then that obviously doesn't apply.
I do not. I have a pocket knife. I can try to stick that in the keyhole.
If you have no idea what you're doing, maybe we should just move the next set of doors.
Okay.
Okay, so you're checking the next set of doors, see if they're locked.
The ones at the far end is what I was saying.
Okay. The stone ones, they don't appear to have any locking mechanism on them, but they are shut like the ones outside.
Oh boy.
I command my unseen servant to touch the doors.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Well, I tried the touch test. Anyone wants to try the lick
God
test?
damn it. I just want one good roll.
Okay. These are not quite as big as the outer doors, thankfully, so that is enough to open one of them.
I look through.
Hold that thought.
Of course. Take a bit. Get some water.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you two go ahead and make perception checks.
Tim is grabbing water.
That's why I said you two.
Oh.
And neither of you have dark vision, right?
No, but I still have a lit cigarette.
Okay.
I do have a torch.
What I will add, you do have smartphones as well.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Smartphones generally do have flashlights these days.
Okay, so retcon that my character has a flashlight.
Okay.
I'm back.
Hi back. Roll perception check.
What's going on?
Roll perception check. We're entering this room. And your companions have turned on their phone flashlights. Okay. So now you can see this room. So this is pretty clearly the main
Atrium.
place. Yeah. So in this room, ignore the. Just imagine that this doesn't have the sun. It's just actually the circle. It looks like a moon instead of a sun because it's the house of the moon. So you see that. You see like down here-ish. There's an raised podium with like an altar here. Some various iconography. There's benches kind of in, whoops, it's pillars that I wanted, in this formation going for multiple rows. And you also see like scattered throughout a number of statues that are placed kind of oddly. So I mean, you have statues here and here, but you also have like a statue here and a statue here, another one here, and there's just a bunch of them placed throughout the atrium. And then you also notice that there are more doors here, 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 and here. So that is what you see when you come in.
I saw the first and last door. Where are the second and third doors?
This must be off. So like there and there.
Okay.
At the bottom.
I will actually.
What up, gang?
I will glance at Iggy and motion for him to send his servant in.
Okay. I command the servant to run a circle around the area, weaving through the benches and everything.
Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a. Yeah. Okay. So. Okay, so as the unseen servant runs through, so what kind of route do you have him take? Go ahead and just draw like a route through.
Okay.
With preferably a different color.
I'm gonna have him go around like this, up onto the altar, back through, and then through this, like this, and then like this, and then back here.
Okay, so you're starting. Which end are you starting on? The one closest to you, or the one farther away? The one by like follow.
Starting here.
Okay. So he goes around the room fine, but when he comes to be about here by this statue.
Which? Oh. Okay.
Actually, I should make these clear. I'm not going to be using official tokens for this because I don't have those yet. So we'll just start working these out.
The routes to Drew got moved a little, if that matters at all.
I'll fix it in a second. Okay, so when he hits that red square there, basically.
Yep.
That statue turns and just swipes at the unseen servant, which I
Okay.
believe has an AC of 10, correct?
Yes.
How do you do a GM roll? Is that all one word?
Yep. /GM roll.
And that does hit. How much HP does it have?
1.
Okay. So The statue just kind of slowly, as the unseen servant comes around, it just sort of slowly turns towards the servant, and swipes through it with its arm, and it vanishes.
Oh dear. So it got through to the altar and then made it past near that statue.
Yeah, so, the route it did, I should have probably left that up. But I can
It's fine.
yeah.
Okay. It only activated when it got pretty close.
You do see, though, that now that the statue is awakened, it is kind of shambling around the room, kind of moving in this direction.
What do you think?
I want to make my way up to the altar and see what's there.
Past all the statues, one of them already attacked something.
Well, if we follow the...
Yes.
We stay out of sight of those.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
If we stay out of sight or reach of the statues, isn't that essentially what Iggy's thing did?
Yeah, that one's moving now though, so we'll see.
That is roughly what it looks like, by the way.
Oh, that's spooky as fuck. Jesus.
Okay. So what are you guys doing? Sorry. So
Do we have enough leeway for at least one of us to make our way around the outside of the room to the altar?
If you follow the path that the unseen servant did, you have no reason to believe otherwise.
I don't like the way you said that.
I suspect that's why he said it that way. Alright, I'll do it. What are you looking for at the altar?
I don't know.
Maybe an off switch?
Anything that looks like it shouldn't be on the altar, or that makes it unique for being an altar.
I will try to stealthily go along the outside of the room in a way that he effort.
Okay. Go ahead and
Is
roll.
that
Go ahead and roll.
second red
Stealth.
square an active one now too?
Yes.
So there are two active ones now.
Mm-hmm.
Second thought, maybe we should just shoot them before they're all active.
Okay.
I like this idea of shooting things before they come alive.
They do not seem to have noticed you at all yet. They haven't noticed Maya Star either, even as he steps through the door.
Get back here and look up and see if I see anything.
Go ahead and roll perception.
Totally unrelated, but
Message received.
You see an altar, some various religious paraphernalia, a book on the podium there that looks kind of worn and not in terribly good shape, but not really anything beyond that.
I look back out towards my star and kind of like shrug.
And don't have to worry about these at all. They haven't noticed you yet.
Alright, I kind of survey the room and motion for her.
Maya Star, and I'm like, more of them are waking up. More of them are waking up. I want you to realize this.
I motion to her to try and make her way back around the outside of the room the same way that she came.
I do so.
Okay.
Unless you have a better idea, I think we need to shoot our way through. Well, I suppose it's
Alright.
out those doors in the way. Oh well.
Okay, so what are you guys doing?
It's a really good question.
Alright. Stay close to me. We're going to start with the statue that hasn't woken up yet.
Okay.
That one.
Okay.
Ideally, stay within 5 feet of me. Iggy, if you need any help, you stay behind me.
Yep.
Vala, you can take care of yourself.
We'll find out.
Alright. Again, he said stay close. Let's go in.
Okay.
1 second here. I just need to quickly look up some stuff about these guys. Okay. They still have not noticed you.
Alright, once we take out that statue, we're going to set up there. I'd rather not move around if we can avoid it.
Alright.
Alright, I move in and set up behind my riot shield and shoot the unmoving statue.
Okay. Are you shooting it from there?
Yes.
Okay. As soon as you move into that square, it does wake up. And since you moved into its space, it will actually take a strike at you first.
Okay.
Just so, like, attacks of opportunity don't exist in 5e unless you leave a square. Unless it's in the creature's rulebook, so. Never mind. Or me.
No, you're right, actually. So yeah, no, you do get first strike on it.
Okay.
I ready myself to shoot as soon as he does.
Yeah, go ahead and roll initiative too.
Check grab.
Oh yeah, thanks. That.
Make
no.
sure you have your character selected.
There we go. Okay. Yeah. You will still get first shot, Maya Star, since you're initiating this. But
so Josh, I had originally, like, when I created this as just straight D&D before the homebrew stuff, I just did a lance and I took all of the stats from that.
Okay.
Do those stats still apply to the shotgun that I took?
Let me take your character sheet quickly. So you're, yeah, it would still be, I believe I still have shotgun as strength in the rules. The damage would be 2d8.
If you're within 20 feet, you fire with advantage.
So you will get advantage on this shot. So here, I'll just go ahead and, yeah. And then the reload 2 in the description there for it means that every second shot, after every second shot, you have to reload. So that'll be a full action to reload that round. So that's part of the gun mechanics here. Okay, 1 second. Can I...
But it's an action, not a full action, so you can still move.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. How do you add custom tokens to... How do you add extra turns to this, Stetson?
You have to so right click on the item and then add turn, but you can't. I don't think you can do that with the drum. You might
Darn.
be able to.
Nope, no, you're right. Let's see, what do I have for... Okay, so you're going to be shooting at... Okay, so you're going to be shooting at Chris's character.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You can just, from the characters tab, there should be a whole bunch of drop downs. No, not the characters tab. There's
Yeah, I know it's in there somewhere. I just don't want to take time to find it right now. I do remember seeing that, but...
Oh, Chris is not prepared. Chris is gonna be mad that you spoiled his character.
Most of the people already know.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I think you're one of the only ones who didn't.
You have to have them selected if you're on the turn tracker.
Yep, you right click on the person, then add
Oh,
turn,
I see.
add
I
turn,
see.
add turn.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and re-roll, Iggy.
Oh god.
Well, okay, he literally... Well, I guess you could roll Nat. Yeah, no, okay. So you will go before him. Okay. And to answer your question, my star, yes.
Okay. All right. I Like I said, I set up behind my shield and shoot that you're right in front of me.
Okay, go ahead. And you're rolling at
Oh, I
advantage.
forgot.
So you can roll
Yep.
twice.
I suspect a 20 is going to do it anyway.
Yeah, 20 will do it, as would the 19. Go ahead and roll damage. Okay. The statue basically just explodes in a shower of rubble.
I let out a little sigh of relief, like, oh, thank God, they're simple enough.
However, the others have now pretty clearly noticed you and are going to start moving, looking like they're going to start moving towards you. They're not going to do that yet because it's not their turn.
Do I also get to take a shot at the beginning since I was going to open fire when he did, or did I just wait for my turn?
Wait for your turn, which is now, so. Okay, that'll
Shoot the first one closest to me.
Okay.
Down.
Okay, that hits. Damage. So you blast a hole straight through its head, and take like the impact is enough to take a huge part of its face off, but it is still standing.
So,
Okay. That's how it works. Okay. That one is going to move towards my star and take a swipe at him. What's your AC?
Okay. 17.
17. Okay, so it does not hit. It just kind of glances off your shield. And it looks kind of annoyed. Okay, Iggy.
I am going to take a pot shot at that fellow. How do I roll the attack first? I just click on that item, right?
Yeah. Yep. Um. Believe that hits. Yes, that does hit. And which one are you attacking? The one at the very south.
Farthest. Yep.
Okay. So your shot kind of just nicks his shoulder.
Okay.
Still looks okay. Let's go move up here and take a swipe at Vala. Oh,
that hits.
okay. So let's see, what's the damage for this? Okay. Take 10 points of damage and make a Constitution saving throw. Beautiful. Okay. So it kind of scratches you along your side. Presumably as you're like jumping back to try and avoid it. And you feel like it feels really weird as it claws you. Can't really describe it, but no ill effects seem to occur because of it. That one is going to also take a swipe at Maya Star. Does that hit?
Yeah.
Okay, take 7 points of damage and also make a con save. Okay. So same sort of thing. This one, presumably while you were distracted by the first one that hit, your shield wasn't quite up to protect from this one. It reaches around and scratches at your arm. But you don't really feel any ill effects as a result.
Okay.
No one's gonna move there. Okay, Maya Star, you can take your next turn.
Josh, what would you say would be a cone in front of me?
How big is the cone?
15 feet.
That's pretty huge.
How would you define that in this context? Might be a good way to do it, actually. Yeah, so I would say basically like that. So the tile in front of you, the 3 tiles after that, and then the 5 tiles after that in any direction. So it's a cone. So the first tile is the first part of the cone, and then like these 3 tiles would be the next part. These 5 tiles would be the next part. Or if you're going this way,
Got it.
here, 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 etc. So you could either hit these 2 or these 2.
If I move here, then no, I don't want to do that.
Actually puts you in a worse place, I think.
Well, I was gonna say move here, breathe that way, but that would put.
It wouldn't hit Vala, but you'd only be able to hit these 2. You wouldn't hit this one anymore. You just hit these 2 here.
Sure.
Because remember, your cone is going like this, basically.
Well, I think I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to move and then breathe that way.
One thing to note, that will provoke an attack of opportunity if you move.
Yeah.
From both of the guys standing next to you, actually. So both of these guys will attack you. You can still do that if you want, I'm just warning you there.
Well, it's a 5-foot step still within this one's range, but that other one definitely is. You're leaving his area.
Oh, right. It's only if they leave the attack range, right? Yeah, so it would just be the one below you.
I'll risk it.
Okay. So we'll do his attack of opportunity first. Okay, and I'm assuming that misses. Yeah, so you're fine.
Okay, so yeah, I will.
Okay, so it's not even a roll, is it? It's just they have to make a save.
Yep.
They may have to make the DC save because it's an area effect.
The Dex check 12.
Is that your Constitution modifier and your proficiency bonus?
Yes.
There's 2 of them, so I'll roll for the one by Tim first. As you might imagine, stone statues are not terribly dexterous. Okay, so he fails. But he succeeds. So the one by
Still
Tim...
takes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He still takes damage, just like half as much.
Yeah. Okay, so roll 2d6. Okay, so the one by Tim will take 6 points of damage. And the one below will take 3 points. And give me 1 second here because I've not actually been writing this down, which is bad.
One of them had a massive chunk taken out of him too.
Yeah, I know. Like, I still have your things up here, so I can check that off. It'll just take me a second.
And then I encourage Vala and Iggy to stay close.
Okay, actually their damage is down now, so we can keep going. Okay, Vala.
Okay, so I have a
First
question.
joined your channel Ovo on S-Dub.
Hey guys.
Hey, first, sorry to
Oh.
hear about your grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. She passed peacefully and
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Description of martial arts. It says, like, after I use an attack roll with an unarmed strike or a monk weapon, which my pistol is, I can make one armed or unarmed strike as a bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
Would that stack with the 2 from Flurry of Blows? If I were to use that.
Character sheet, let me take a look at it. What's Flurry of Blows again?
Immediately after you take the attack action on your turn, you can spend 1 key point to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action.
It would stack because you're spending a resource to do that, but you're not spending a resource to do the martial arts.
Yes.
But unarmed strike on my
Okay, so wait, one more second here. So martial arts is you make an attack with a weapon and get an unarmed bonus action.
Yes.
And Flurry of Blows is after making an attack, you can spend a key point to get 2 bonus attacks, or
Yes.
okay, yep,
They're all unarmed, obviously.
yeah. No, monks are meant to be powerful DPS, so
Okay. Then I will step here, shoot the one above me with my pistol.
okay. That'll hit.
Still up.
1 second, so that's 12. Yes, that shot does take a huge chunk out of his torso, though.
Use my first bonus strike on the same one.
That does not hit.
Use my second bonus strike on the same one. God damn. And my third bonus strike.
That hits. So you... I'm going to say take a sweeping kick through the section of torso that you already blown a chunk out of, and just basically slice him in half widthwise. The top section of it topples to the ground and just shatters into a bunch of fragments.
I was expecting to have an unarmed strike or two left over, which is why I stepped being range or something else.
Okay, so this guy, the guy whose skull you took a chunk out of, is going to attack you.
We'll roll at a disadvantage.
He's not aware of it, won't attack anyway. Okay, so I'm not even going to bother rolling the second one because I'm sure that doesn't pass your AC. Unless your AC is less than 8.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, so he misses. Okay, Iggy.
The one that just attacked is looking pretty unhappy, right? He's
Um,
missing a good
he
point for
probably
himself.
would be if he still had a face, but he does not. So you can
Well,
just
I'm
assume.
gonna shoot it. I'm gonna shoot at him.
Okay.
Oh no,
With
that's
your pocket
that's
knife?
not
Okay, that does hit. As with the one you shot previously, so go ahead and roll damage actually. He only has 1 hit point left, so it doesn't really matter. But as with the one you shot previously, it just like glances off his shoulder. But you see as a chunk chinks off, fractures from the damage to his face start to spread down and meet with fractures from his shoulder, and it just shatters into a pile of rubble.
it. Okay.
Okay. This guy is also going to take a swipe at Vala.
Is that fighting style protection? Does
Yeah.
it happen every time?
No,
Essentially.
When
actually,
creature you can see attacks target other than you that is within 5 feet of you. She is within 5 feet of him, so
you can use a reaction though, and you only get one reaction per round.
Yeah.
So
It says on the attack roll, not on all attack rolls.
Got it.
okay. So that will hit, I assume, the 24.
Would you believe me if I said no?
Not really. I could just
It hits.
Okay, and roll a con save. Nice. Okay, so you just take 4 points of damage. Not as bad as the last one. Still mildly annoying. Or moderately, depending on your HP pool. Okay, this guy is going to take a swipe at my star. Nope, that's the wrong one.
Okay, that hits.
Yep. Okay, and roll con save. Jeez.
Nice.
Okay, so yeah, take 8 points of damage. And then this last one's going to take a swipe at Iggy.
It's probably gonna. Oh, it doesn't hit. Holy shit! I deftly dodge.
That's probably good given your constitution.
Yes.
Back to my star.
I'm going to attack the one that's right in front of me.
Okay. Woof. Yeah, you don't need to roll again, that hits.
Okay. Roll again to make sure you don't crit.
Yeah, go ahead, I guess. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll take the damage from the first one, though. So that's 10 damage to this dude.
And then, so is the one that I just attacked the only one that's taken any kind of damage now? Of the 3 that are standing?
I thought he hit the one on the right with his breath weapon.
The one on the left. And yeah, actually all 3 have taken damage because the one on the left, Iggy shot earlier.
Okay, well, as a bonus action, I'm going to help Iggy out. He will get advantage on his next ability check.
Or attack roll.
Attack roll.
Nice.
Specifically on the one that's right in front of him.
Yeah,
It doesn't say that you need to specify one you can see, just that the attack he makes has to be on one that you can see.
Within
In order
30
for
feet.
Right.
Okay.
In order for him to get the bonus.
Yeah, so that would affect everyone here. Okay. And your shotgun does do pretty noticeable damage. Your statue now looks kind of like Swiss cheese. Okay, Vela.
Shoot the one on the right.
That hits.
It's still up.
Yep, he loses an arm. That does not hit.
I'll stop there.
Okay. Iggy.
I shoot the one that's attacking me, I guess.
Probably a good idea. You miss, but you do have advantage.
What?
You have
You miss-
advantage.
What?
Kisnik
Oh,
gave you
right.
advantage.
You still miss. Any bonus actions you can take?
Nope.
You can also move if you want, though that would provoke an attack of opportunity, probably. So.
There's actually nowhere for me to move either, because I can't move into the square that's half.
Oh. Okay. That'll just form a nice rectangle here. Does that hit? You.
Who's...
Yeah, is that attack?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Take 7 damage and roll a con save. Man, you guys are rocking these con saves.
Oh shit, this is another round, so I get another reaction, right?
Yep.
Or is that once? Okay.
It's once per round, so
Okay.
you could use it presumably when Iggy gets attacked shortly.
Yep.
Okay, this one will attack my star.
Unless he's taking a lot of damage of this, then you should probably use it on me. Just in general, right now.
Yep.
That hits.
It does not.
Okay.
Sorry, I said yes to Tim.
That does not hit.
Okay. Well, no need to impose disadvantage then.
These guys are really falling for my winning smile, apparently.
Which is very good for you.
Charisma tank.
Okay, my star.
Apparently.
Alright, I'll try and finish off the one right in front of me.
Okay. That does not hit.
Okay. Well, as a bonus action, then I'm going to get a little feedback.
Go ahead and make the roll then. It's pretty sizable.
That helps a lot.
Okay, Vela.
Shoot one in front of me. Another strike one in front of me.
There you go. Okay. So you shoot, and it just kind of reaches its hand up and brushes your arm to the side, so you miss it. And kind of looking at it in frustration, you just kick out, and your foot goes straight through its body, and it just kind of crumbles to the ground around your leg. Okay, Iggy.
I'm gonna try shooting this thing again. And fail. I'm apparently not very good at close quarters combat.
I think,
That is my turn.
yeah, I think technically there is disadvantage for using ranged weapons in melee.
There is disadvantage if you don't have something that negates it.
Yeah. I should have
Yeah.
been.
The two that I've missed though have been like the first shot anyway, so
Yeah,
like
it
I
wouldn't
can't
matter.
hit
Yeah.
them regardless.
Okay, one of our last two stone boys is going to take a shot at my star again. For old time's sake. Oh, that hits.
Yes, that does hit.
Whoa.
And it does hurt. I'm really glad I healed when I did.
Okay, and roll your con save too.
Oh,
You're not a disadvantage, so you're fine.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, besides the 13 points of damage you took.
Alright, then I'll help Stetson out.
That is probably a good idea. Holy shit.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Roll again.
That was the again.
Wait. Oh. Wait, what?
Because yeah, the one above
God,
fighting
okay.
style was the first roll.
So that did 10 damage and I have to make a constitution save.
Yes.
Oh good.
Okay, so this is where things get fun. Okay, so it takes a large swipe out of your shoulder, we'll say, and you notice that the claws dug in really deep, as you are probably painfully aware of. And as you look at your shoulder, with the claw marks, they start turning gray.
Oh god.
And if you tap it with like a finger, it makes like a tick noise, and it feels kind of like you're hitting stone.
Yeah.
Grayscale.
Likely because you are. Okay, Maester.
Alright, I'm gonna try to finish this one off.
That hits. Okay, yeah, you blow him away. He just completely disintegrates.
Okay, and then I'm gonna use an additional action to shoot the one that just attacked.
Okay.
Iggy.
That also hits.
That is still advantage. Right?
I mean, it is, but you already hit.
Already hit. Still should roll
For crit,
to see if he crits.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forget about that.
Those are 1 in 20.
Okay. You take a huge chunk out of his right side, but he is still standing. Still has his head and arm and
The
general legs.
motherfucker took 18 points of damage and is still standing.
The first one I shot took 18 points of damage and didn't die, so...
Yeah.
I wonder what their HP is.
Yes. Given that the one Nick shot first took 19 points of damage and died, I think we have determined pretty clearly. Step up,
Science.
fire my laser.
Fuck.
Okay. Okay. He notices you coming and just reaches his arm over, and like the other one, blocks you, but also swings your arm to the side. And it so roll again. Okay. Luckily, Maestar is still positioned with his shield towards this guy, so the angle you go at, the bullet bounces off Maestar's shield and whizzes straight in front of Iggy's face.
Strike.
Oh, that does not hit. Okay, Iggy.
I'm gonna pull out my pocket knife and try to stab it, I guess. And fail.
And go ahead and make another con save for me. Okay, that one succeeds. The stone stops spreading.
Oh, thank Christ.
This will be a disadvantage. Whoever it attacks.
Yeah. What's your AC?
Me?
No, Iggy.
That does hit. Mine's 16.
Okay.
It can't actually deal enough. It can't not deal enough damage to not put me at 0. So because
Okay.
it has a bonus of 5. So
Okay.
Yep. I'm gonna start making con saves, I guess. It gets to my turn.
Okay. I'll just roll that. So that's 7 damage.
Yeah. Can't go below 0, unfortunately. So.
Yeah. But do make another con save because it is still scratching you. Hey! There.
Oh, thank God.
I've
Add
only
a
had one
plus
bad con save
yay.
so far, so that's actually pretty good considering that you fought 6 of these and only got
Does
one.
he need to start making death saves now, though?
Yes, he does.
When it gets to my turn, I do. Yeah.
Right, so it'll be Maestar's turn here. That misses, but you have advantage.
I hope it hits me.
No, I have advantage. So my crit fail doesn't count, does it?
Oh, he's right. He has advantage, so that one doesn't count. He
Oh,
just
right.
misses.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, so you just miss. Okay.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Getting hit by a shotgun would not have been great. Okay. Any bonus actions you want to take?
I don't think I have any more.
Is your breath just a once per day thing?
Yes, pretty much everything
Darn.
except protection is
Okay.
Until rest.
Okay, Vala. It's up to you.
Okay.
That
So
hits.
hits.
That hits. Yeah, that pretty thoroughly ends him.
Okay. I need to go to the bathroom, maybe.
Alright, I gotta start making death saves now.
Yeah.
Don't actually know how this works.
Yeah, I don't know how out of combat works either. You might Maestar might be able to stabilize or give you advantage. I've so far discovered that a 1 on a death save counts as 2 failures.
Yep. So it sounds like you treat it as in combat until the death saves are resolved. I have to beat a 15? I'm gonna die.
No, it's just
Ooh.
it's a 10 or higher.
Okay.
It's just high-low, basically. That being said, Maestar or Vala can also try to stabilize you using a Wisdom Medicine check, DC 10 as well.
Okay. I'm not gonna make any rolls until. I'm not gonna make any rolls until Vala gets back because I don't know if anyone has wisdom enough to do it. It's them.
Is there any
Unless
harm
you're
in me trying it?
Only if you critically fail.
I'll wait until.
Yeah, I mean, if you fail, I wouldn't count it against him, but if you critically fail, I'd count it as a failed death save. Is basically what would happen, and he has 3 fails that he can have before he dies. Basically, the way it works is he needs to get 3 successes before he gets 3 failures. And if you,
I just roll a d20, right?
yeah, it's a d20, no mods.
There's no modifiers. Interesting.
Yeah, and if your Vala stabilizes him, that's it. He doesn't need to make any more saves either way. So a successful stabilization roll is completely successful, whereas a successful death save, he would still have to make 2 more.
Okay.
Do you still have the turn order? Because I don't know if he gets
Vala,
a
we
chance
need
before
you.
I start rolling.
Okay.
No, yeah, it would be your turn, Stetson. Actually, no, it'd be
First death
Maestar's
save.
turn. Maestar's turn would be next.
Okay.
What's
So
going on?
death saves?
Iggy's dying.
Right.
So do you-
Basically, the two of us, if we make a successful medicine check, which is 10 or higher,
yeah, you need to beat a 10 DC. Yeah, with the medicine check.
then Iggy will be fine.
I mean, he won't be dead. Fine is probably a big stretch.
He'll be stable.
Yeah.
So what's your wisdom?
Decent.
Well, I'm going to try it.
Okay. Please don't critically fail.
Here goes nothing.
Okay,
Okay.
that's not a critical fail.
Yep, that doesn't do any harm. That does.
It does one failure. It is now his turn.
Hold on just a sec.
Okay, and that succeeds.
Hey,
So he is stabilized.
Stable.
You have 1 hit point. Congratulations.
Think I actually have 0.
Ha!
It is.
No, if you have one, that way I have 3 times as many as you do.
Yeah, a stable creature that isn't healed regains 1 hit point after 1d4 hours. Hey, Forrest.
What's that?
Are you up for some D&D?
I suppose.
Catch the tail end of this session.
Should I send to be the King's Guard of my son?
Are you doing...
Answer me that and I'll join.
What era are you playing?
I am Rhaegar Targaryen. Everyone's
What was
dead.
the question?
I had Jaime Lannister protecting my son, but Jaime Lannister drank himself to death at age 39.
Sounds about right.
Ned Stark?
He died of gonorrhea. Lady Sansa now rules the north.
Goodness.
Have Lady Sansa protect your son.
There you go.
She is unfortunately not part of the King's Guard.
Well, who is part of the King's Guard?
Don't worry about it. It's Sir Willem Derry. I married Cersei.
Okay, so... just bring you up to speed, Forrest. So these 3 were contacted earlier. Oracle had them meet at a bar to
Traditional.
yeah, very traditional. First, gather information about a company called Zentarum Incorporated, which is trying to basically competing with the Waterdeep government to try and acquire pre-spell plague artifacts. And Oracle, the person employing you, had discovered that the Zentarum had ostensibly found the entrance to the House of the Moon, a old Waterdeep temple
Okay.
that could potentially have artifacts in it. So sent these three, a man named, who likes to be called Iggy, but is fully named Ignatius, kind of a...
You're in the Kingsman, weren't you?
Sure.
Yeah, if you cross that with like a hipster. Maestar Zernar, a dragonborn soldier guy, and Valana. How do you pronounce your last name, Tim?
Illerith.
Illerith? Illerith. Valana Illerith, a monk of some modest skill. Actually, some pretty exceptional skill. As demonstrated in the last fighting. So they gathered some information. Iggy ended up finding out the location of the temple after some trouble. So they're now here. It is morning, probably a couple of hours before Zentarum people get here. You, at this time, receive a call.
Hello.
On the other end is a robotic voice. It says, hello, I am Oracle. This is following up on what we had previously discussed. Turns out your services will be needed a bit sooner than anticipated. I unfortunately underestimated the links your peers would have to go through on their first assignment. If you could make your way to this location and provide your assistance to the other members of your team, it would be appreciated. And you get a notification with a map to presumably the location of the House of the Moon.
All right. Thank you, Oracle. I will head there immediately.
Okay. So fast forward like half an hour or so. You arrive. If you want to drag your character in there, yeah. And you find Dragonborn and a wood elf kind of huddled over the now stabilized but unconscious body of a rather dapper-looking gentleman with some bloodied clothes.
Wood elf is also very bloodied.
That is also true. They're probably all pretty bloody.
Everyone
honestly.
Raise my gun.
Yes, I turn around and raise my shield.
Oh, right.
I weakly raise my gun from the floor.
Conscious.
Yeah, you don't regain your hit point for another 1d4 hours.
Oh, Jesus. What did he say would be about an hour?
About half an hour. But that was from when the Oracle texted him. Presumably that happened about half an hour ago.
Yeah, my intent was basically that so that was actually taking place in half an hour before your little combat happened. So
Little combat.
yeah. So
Little combat.
so this
We all
person
almost died. He calls it little combat.
Hey, I don't know how these things are balanced yet because your guns are, guns.
Carry on. Carry on.
So this figure kind of elfin-looking enters basically just after you've stabilized Iggy. And as you're pointing guns at her, you, all three of you, including Iggy, who's still unconscious, receive text messages. It's up to you if you want to actually check those.
I'm gonna wait. Well, yeah. I'm not going to lower my gun just yet, no.
Well, let me know how this plays out.
Hi.
Are you the adventurers that Oracle told me of?
Probably. Keep my gun in my hand, but I will reach for my phone to see what the text message was.
May I offer you aid?
Aid
What
would
kind
be
of aid?
appreciated. What does the text message say?
I'm not.
I'm not
I'm
asking
typing
you.
it right.
Yeah, cute.
The Oracle is typing.
Yeah.
Oh. It's some Matrix shit.
So
Okay, Master, I think this is... I think the Oracle did send her.
okay.
Well, yeah, if you could help, it'd be appreciated. What do you do?
That. I pray to. I'm sorry. I gotta figure out what my character's doing. I haven't looked at this character sheet in a week.
That's right.
Know that I am a gift Sarai in service of Agma. I will heal you if you require it.
Yes. Yes, I believe we do. But probably this guy first.
I think I'm in service of Agma. No, that was my Neverwinter Nights 2 character.
You and your isometric RPGs.
That Neverwinter Nights 2 is not isometric. It can be. Well, no, technically it's top down, but it can also be third person or first person. Know that I can heal you.
Me?
Yeah, okay, so if you could heal this guy.
Oh, I sent it to the GM only.
Oh, yeah, I guess you did. Iggy, you get 12 points of health back.
They all do.
Oh, it's AoE. Nice. You all get 12 points of health back.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
Yes, sorry, I pointed a gun at you. Welcome.
Can you describe what your character looks like really quickly?
I'm
was-
a sickly looking elf.
I can
I
probably
stand up-
do you one better.
Brushing myself off, and I'm like,
Can we
who is
just-
lovely? Oh, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is that?
just all maybe describe our characters?
If you want to go ahead and do self-descriptions, you're welcome to.
I know Stetson did a little bit when he walked into the bar, but Forrest hasn't heard that, so...
I'm a tall, yellow-skinned elf with brown hair. Wear brown robes with a heavy coat on. I am an indeterminate age. I walk upright, hands clasped behind my back in most situations.
Goodness. I need to put a little more thought into my character's actions.
Iggy,
If you would like, I could go through my character's belief systems too.
Probably save that for
at
another
some other
time.
point.
It's really complicated.
Iggy's tall and thin, waxed mustache, thick rimmed glasses, not included in the character portrait because I couldn't find a proper thick rim glasses with also the mustache. Dressed in pretty standard clothing. Like he doesn't have any armor. He's just in like a suit jacket and a bow tie, and he frequently has a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Yeah.
I'm glad to
And
know
Joe on
you,
his back.
Iggy.
What?
Well,
What?
I am glad to know you, Iggy.
Okay.
Vala is also an elf. Also an elf, like also to you, not also to Stetson. Stetson's an elf. Short for an elf, barely over 5 feet, but slender, red hair and green eyes. She's wearing a simple blouse with a loose vest over it, and jeans, and her hair is in a single long braid.
I am pleased to know you, Valana Villaris.
I'm
Vala,
human, by the
please.
way.
Vala?
I should clarify that.
Yeah.
Clarify
Did you
what?
say so?
His
I'm
character
human.
is human.
Okay.
Also, I'm heterochromatic. I have 2 different eye colors. That's the
Okay.
I am a gold dragonborn, or dragonborn with gold dragon ancestry. I am very militaristic, so I'm always posture-wise, always very upright and look bigger than I actually am, even though I am very big. And even for dragonborn, I've got intimidating facial features, very wide jaw, protruding scales, and thin black eyes.
I am pleased to know you, Master of Faerunners.
The pleasure is mine.
And what was your
Oh,
character's
also
name?
a woman.
Right. What was your character's name first?
Izera.
You mind spelling that for me? Thank you.
Okay. So with introductions over, what are your next steps?
Now we're gonna scour the room a little bit more.
Okay.
I'm curious
Yeah.
about that book.
Which I apparently told you about.
Could you describe the room for me?
Josh.
It's okay if you can't.
Sorry,
Wait,
just
are you
bringing
blind?
things up a bit more. So the room does look basically like this.
Okay.
So, except instead of a sun, it's a moon in the middle. So there's 4 statues around the edge. There were more statues, and you can see there's a bunch of rubble on the ground where those statues may once have been. Looks like they've been variously shot. 2 of them kind of are like 2 of the piles have some singe marks on them. I'm not really sure what that's about. And then there's like these benches here. This one's probably slightly on fire. And then there's an altar down at the south with a podium on top. And then there's 4 doors where those blue lines are on the east, west, and south.
Okay.
Also, I reload my gun.
Oh shit.
Yeah, you know, I
Yeah,
completely
I
forgot
was
to keep
gonna
track of
mention
that.
that I.
It's
maybe
probably
not the
good that you
best,
didn't, given how
yeah, I was
that
gonna
went.
say, I almost said something. I was like, we're kind of getting our asses handed to us. I'm just gonna not mention it.
What's the mag size?
For his, 2, because he's got a double-barreled shotgun.
What about pistols?
I went through all 7 of mine. What kind of pistol do you have? Just a regular pistol?
Just a pistol.
12, I believe. May...
Yeah, if it's a light pistol, then 12.
Yes, 12.
Speaking of, does anyone happen to have a larger pistol than what I have? We have a pocket pistol.
Yes, but I'm using it.
Okay. Wow.
He's now like, I want a bigger gun.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Everything's apparently balanced around us having massive weapons. I just brought a pocket pistol.
Power of faith will protect us.
I prefer the power of explosive rounds. I am gonna cautiously go up to the altar as gently as I can. Make a perception check. Mm-hmm.
Do priests prepare spells ahead of time? Clerics, whatever I am.
I believe so, yes.
In 3.5, they did, but they could sacrifice spells to trade them for cure spells.
Okay.
You see basically the same thing that Vala saw. So there's a podium, like religious iconography around, a kind of dusty old tome on the podium itself, but nothing else particularly of interest.
Alright. I'm gonna use Mage Hand. And I'm going to... No, I can actually open it and unlock... Oh, never mind. Slowly pick up the book off of the altar.
Okay, as you do, you hear a rumbling sound in the distance.
I put it back. I put it back. I put it back.
The rumbling continues.
Tell what direction it's coming from.
It's coming from the south end.
What the doors at that end look like? Are they wooden doors or big stone ones?
They're more stone style.
Can I open this door that I'm at?
You can try. It's also stone. So roll a strength check. Okay, yes, you can open that door.
I do.
So I see him doing that.
Okay. Okay. Room. Go ahead and roll perception checks.
I'm not going anywhere near that fucking door.
Okay.
I retreat.
This room seems mostly empty. There's a few water basins and more religious symbols. Looks like it's probably a ceremonial room of some sort, but nothing particularly artifacty looking.
Maybe check in the direction the rumbling is coming from.
Yep, I'm gonna try and open that door there.
Do we know?
I asked and he said from the south.
Okay, you managed to open that door. Okay, go ahead and roll perception checks as you enter. Okay, nice. Okay, Valana, nothing really catches your eye. Zara notices that the roof is kind of shaking and like dust is starting to fall from the ceiling. It's kind of disconcerting. Maestar, you notice that as well, and you'd probably be more off put by it if you didn't also notice the interesting symbols on the wall in the back. Over this side of the room. Specifically, you notice one symbol that seems to have a... So, like, this room is filled with dust, right? It's been sealed here for a while. Yeah.
Compensate for sneezing.
Yeah. But you notice that one of the symbols has an outline in the dust, as if, like, air has been blowing through it.
I shout back to have them pick up the book.
I'll do so.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Try pushing it.
Did you pick up the book?
I picked up the book.
Did you try setting it down again?
Just did that already.
You want to communicate what you found to the group?
Yes, I do, including to Iggy.
Sure, go all the way back to Iggy.
Okay. While he's doing that, do you have any thoughts, Izera or Vala?
I said to push it.
Would you like to push it?
I'll go push it.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a knowledge history check based on what he's told me about it.
Okay.
If I know of anything.
You remember from what I told you earlier that these places are known to have, or that there are rumors that the House of the Moon did have secret vaults.
Okay.
When Vala pushes the button, a door opens, revealing this room. So you can just imagine basically a door in front of the square you're in.
Aha!
One person wise. When you look,
no, my neck.
when you look inside this room, go ahead and roll perception.
Oh, baby.
There you go. Okay. So in this room, you see just piles of various golden, like, religious symbols and the like. And in the very back, you see a golden staff with very ornate carvings and jewelry on it. And it just draws your eye more than anything else in the room, even though there's definitely stuff that seems like it'd probably be more valuable, including like chests that are just filled with gold. But the staff, for some reason, just draws your attention more than anything else. And you also notice that the rumbling you heard earlier is increasing, and more dust is starting to shake from the ceiling.
We should leave. I shall. Presumably, is it just in that room?
Oh no, it is definitely spread to the atrium by now.
Okay, yeah, I'm hollering.
And you actually hear a large crash from behind. Oops.
Behind who?
Behind
door
That
that
door.
you
That
accidentally revealed a piece of.
Yeah, that door.
I will reach out and grab the staff, I guess.
Okay. Nothing particular happens. You feel a weird energy coming from it, but nothing else happens besides that. Do you want to grab anything else while you're in there?
No.
Okay. I'm sure nothing would go wrong if you stayed.
Do you want to look in the other room, or do we just need to get out of here? Who took architecture? One that's a necessary skill. Surely somebody in the party took architecture and can tell us if this is going to collapse. No.
Well, it took history, but I
As
don't
you
know if this is
leave
gonna help
as
her.
you leave the secret room, a stone falls and just crushes the entrance to it.
Neat.
With your insight check, Izara, you believe that the place is collapsing.
All right,
Let's
goodbye.
We should leave.
Bucket, it's the fuzz!
I'm like
Bucket,
shouting and waving, like, let's get the fuck out of here, let's get the fuck out of here. I'm at the end.
I have 45 movement, so I catch you pretty quick.
Okay. As you come out, it's still pretty early, quite a bit before the rest of the peeps would have arrived. But you do see one lone person dressed in tactical gear.
I motion for them to hide the staff, and they run up to him.
Hide the staff?
I don't know, cover it in a blanket or something.
Carrying a blanket.
Okay, okay, wisdom check, interesting, okay. Okay. The guard, as you run up to him, the guy looks at you and starts to shout. Looks like he's going to start to shout something. But as you say forget, he just stops completely and his expression goes blank.
Okay, quick, let's go. Bye.
We should continue.
Nothing to see here. Farewell.
Yes. And let's head back to the GIF. Or maybe we should head somewhere further away from the Zhentarim headquarters. Let's head somewhere further away than the Zhentarim headquarters.
Know a few places.
I do as well, but I expect your places are better for this than mine.
Yes, probably.
Sorry, I'm trying to come up with a new tavern name. Okay. You do, in fact, know of a place on... I guess back to the city map.
No, it's not gonna be in a great location. It's probably gonna be Docks Ward, Trade Ward, something like that.
Oh, yes it is.
Whatever it's
Okay, the place you know of is right down here in the very southeast.
Okay.
It is a tavern known as Griffin's Grog. It's right on the edge of the docks. It's the kind of go-to place if you're a sailor who's never been to the city before. Has no idea what else is there. Probably the cheapest place you could possibly find. But it is a place. It's actually one of the few surviving establishments from before the Drow invasion. Still has inn rooms. So it's actually a decently good place to lie low for a while if you need to.
I walk in the door and I immediately go up to the bartender and I'm like, "Hey, Griff, it's been a while."
Bartender looks at you and says, "Hey, Iggy! How's it going, pal?"
We are gonna need 2 rooms.
Two, you
And
say?
we will, the large lizard man will pay extra for silence. If you know what I mean.
Ah, yeah, I know your friends. They're always good about paying your tabs, Iggy.
You get me, Griff. You get me. Pay the man. I slap Maya Star on his chest and begin to head up the stairs towards the rooms.
I try to grab him before he runs off.
I guess opposed athletics checks?
Oh, athletics?
What?
Like a
I rolled
dexterity.
strength, but
It's a dexterity check to get away.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, dexterity versus strength.
Oh.
So we'll take those two. Who wins in opposed ability rolls?
They explode.
I think I lose just because, like, so if we use the athletics checks as tiebreakers.
Yeah, we'll go with that for now. I should probably find out what those rules are for longer term.
Yeah, it's story-wide at this point.
Okay, yeah. So Maya Star grabs you as you're trying to leave.
I go to the bar. Not paying a goddamn nickel.
I guiltily look into my purse and pull out a sizable amount, I guess, silvers.
Do we start with money?
Probably, 'cause
You do. You could just pull out your credit card if you wanted to as well. Whatever. I haven't assigned you money yet, but you will. I did something for to in the session.
I pull out about 9 credit cards and begin handing them to him until one of them works.
You have an interesting character, Stetson. I'm enjoying this.
Okay. Yeah. So, for the purposes of this session, you have enough money for 2 rooms. So what do you do now?
We should
go up,
probably.
go up to one of the rooms and talk for a bit, I think.
Okay.
So you go to one of the rooms specifically and don't split up at all?
For now,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As you enter the room, Vala, you get a call on your phone.
Alright, I pull it out and answer it.
It once again requests a speakerphone.
Alright.
Okay. The voice of Oracle comes through and says, "It is good to see that you have all pulled off your first mission, mostly unscathed. Very well done retrieving the relic, although it is mildly disappointing that the House of the Moon was lost in the process, though we are, of course, aware that there was nothing you could do to prevent that. Hold on to the artifact you acquired for now. We will be in further contact regarding retrieval and subsequent work. Know also that you are doing the city a great justice keeping these artifacts out of the hands of the Zentarum.
Who are the Zentarum?
The bad guys.
Okay.
Basically.
All we really know is that they're a corporation that's also looking for pre-plague artifacts,
Okay.
of which this staff is apparently one.
And Oracle has intimated that the so Oracle represents one of the Master Lords of Waterdeep, and has indicated that the Master Lords want to keep the artifacts of Old Waterdeep out of the hands of less reputable factions, of which the Oracle has indicated the Zentarum are one.
Okay.
If you've played the Baldur's Gate games, you know the Zentarum are massive assholes. But my character hasn't, so she doesn't.
Yeah, and like even in the history of this world, the Zentarum have gone through a couple of incarnations since that period. Of both better and worse repute. So with that, the call ends, and I believe so will our session.
I immediately lay down on a bed, and light a cigarette, and pass out.
I will, presumably,
I will share
Is
the
there
room
a-
with Iggy.
yes. So Zara and I are taking the other room. Please.
Yes, that. Given Iggy's character, that is probably in your best interest.
Yeah, I'll meditate and regain my key.
Yeah, so you all get a long rest out of this, so you can regain everything before our next session.
Hooray!
Okay.
Huzzah!